Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back in our Fortnite video. And in today's video, I'm gonna give you guys some tips and tricks and just show you the best guide that I can when it comes to having the most amount of shield in your games. Because now with the recent update, there is no more HP per kill, so finding shield and actually keeping your HP up can be kind of difficult. So I'm gonna give you guys some tips and tricks on exactly that. And before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. If you guys want a chance to win some free V-Bucks, all you need to do is to drop a like on this video, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on my notifications, and as well leave a comment down below of your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account. And as well, make sure you guys have me added and supported as a creator. All you need to do this is go over to the item shop, hit X, go to support a creator, and then type in my code, and my code is Young Humor. And once you type that in, all you have to do is accept it, and you will have me added and supported as a creator. And just remember that every 2 weeks the code resets. You're gonna have to retype in Young Humor every 2 weeks. And lastly, I'm starting up my Twitch channel, so if you guys want to see some live gameplays, I'm gonna go for a lot of solo squads, high 20 kill gameplays. And if you guys want to see those type of gameplays, make sure you guys follow me on Twitch. It's going to be Young Humor TTV, so make sure you guys follow me if you guys would like to see that. And alright guys, let's go right to the video. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to just maintain a lot more shield in your games, because having a lot of shield in Fortnite after this update can be kind of difficult. So I do have a few tips when it comes to actually holding a lot of shield. I think during this game I was able to drop 16 kills, and as well I had a lot of shield, or I think I had shield pretty much the entire game. And so starting off, the first thing that I did when I landed tilted is when you're picking a landing location off spawn, usually when it came to HP per kill, I can land on any sort of weapon and then immediately go for a push, because I knew the second I was able to get the kill, I was going to get mats from that player, mats and HP every single time. But now, since there isn't, one thing that I've been doing, I either only land on two things. I either land on some shield, so like minis, big pot, or slurp, one of those three, or I land on a pump, because a pump shotgun is really good for the early game, and as well it's easy to pick off a lot of players and do a lot of damage. So that's the reason why I would land on a pump. And for shield, of course, finding shields is so difficult in the early game as well. So if you're able to get shield, you definitely want to be able to get it. So if you want to get a lot of kills in the early game, I would highly recommend either landing on a shotgun, or as well just landing on some minis to try to get your HP and shield up. And the reason being why you'd rather land on there than just landing at like a hot drop kind of area, because even if you do say you get the gun first, you get the SMG, and you have other people land your building, even if you're able to get the kill, it's just going to happen where a lot of people are going to be picking off damage. You're going to be losing 20 to 30 HP every time, and you're not going to be able to find any shield, and as well it's going to be very difficult to get your HP up at all. Maybe you're lucky and find a med kit or something like that, but getting shield in that early game and holding shield is going to be very difficult, especially if you don't have a good drop. So another option you can have when it comes to getting shield in the early game, it really depends on your situation, but a lot of times when people are going to loot their building, if you're able to rush them quick enough before they can even get the shield, that could be another good option. Because if you push way too slow out of your building, say you land and you're not able to get shield, and if you wait too long to try to rush another player to get shield, then it's going to be very difficult, because the time you get over there, they're going to already have their minis popped, their big pots, their slurps, so they're going to have full shield, and then by the time you actually are able to get the kill on them, they're not going to be dropping any sort of shield at all. And as well, say you get tagged in that fight, you're down to like 30 or 40 HP and they don't drop any sort of shield, it's going to be very difficult to be able to pick off another player quickly in order to get enough shield off that player as well. So if you want to be able to get shield in the early game, you either have to land on some minis, or you're going to have to be able to push a player before they can pop their shields. Otherwise, it's really going to be a 50-50 whether or not they drop any shields, and even if they do, they're only going to be dropping one mini, unless they found 2 sets. In that case, you're going to be dropping 4. So if you come in late in a gunfight, you're only going to be picking up 1 mini. So you really have to play your cards right and see if you rather push a player, but I would just recommend trying to land on a mini or pump right off the start of the game. I think that's going to be your best option for getting shield in the early game. So when it actually comes to going into the mid game, or even just going into gunfights in general, there's going to be a few different things that you have to keep in mind if you want to be able to have a lot of HP consistently throughout the entire game. And I'll say the first thing is just going into fights, you have to play it a little bit different. And one thing that I've been doing a little bit is, say I'm in a gunfight and I make a player pretty weak, maybe they're down to 20 or 40 HP and I still have a good amount of HP, maybe I have 150 or maybe even 200 HP. One thing that I do is I try to keep a little bit of distance Because say if they're in a box, I'm going to back up a little bit, even if I'm trying to get the wall. And say the reason why I back up a little bit is in case they get that pump shot on me, which most of the time I have so many players where they get that one last shot on me before they die. So even if they're able to get that one last shot, it's not going to do as much damage if I was point blank. So keeping my distance just a little bit going into that fight when they're really weak is going to help me out a little bit, just in case they get that extra shot on me before they die. Instead of doing 100 damage for a body shot with the blue pump, maybe they only do like 75 or 60. So that could be a really useful tip depending on the situation. If you're going against a player who's really just camping really hard in their box and they have a ton of mats, it can be very difficult to actually try to make a play unless you're playing really aggressive. But most of the time when you're going against a bunch of average players, you're at least able to get a few shots on them or be able to finish them from a little bit of a distance. And just another thing that you have to keep in mind is you'll have to be careful of third parties and getting shot from different angles, because if you get shot from different angles in Fortnite and you're not able to pop if you don't have any extra shield, it can be very difficult to win in that fight, especially if you're low on HP. So you have to be careful about getting third partied and getting shot in the back and just different shots like that. And I do make a really good play on the players that are going up top, you guys are about to see. So I ended up seeing a player, he was going on top, and I thought I was trying to shoot him to try to draw him over to me, but he ends up landing on top of the hill and just sitting there trying to shoot me with his deagle or whatever. So that was super annoying, so I decided to rotate over, maybe try to get a chip shot or two from the side, try to pick off a little bit of shield and then push up. So see the player up top, he ends up getting shot from the back. So at this point the player on top isn't looking down, he's probably just looting the other player. So I'm going to make a push for the player on top. So I'm just making sure he's not going to be peeking over the edge, he doesn't see me at all. So I'm going to start to push up, and I'm going to start to build from directly below him, because that's probably going to be the best angle where he's not going to be able to see me. As you can see, there's no way from that anyone up top is going to be looking down and seeing me. So I'm going to start rushing up, and as I'm rushing up, I'm going to see a player to my left. And since there's a player to my left, I'm going to go around the right side, because there's going to be a guy on the middle, and as well there's going to be a guy on the left. So if I come from the right side, I'm not going to get pinched at all in this situation, just because the two players are from different angles. So I had the other player on the left, and I had the other player on the right. So it was a really good play by me to go from the right side. And so the player ends up rotating over to the right, and just because I was able to kill him quickly, it put me at a pretty good advantage, just because if I drug this gunfight out pretty much any longer at all, I would have had to worry about two guys at the exact same time. But since I was able to kill him quickly, I only had to have a 1v1 gunfight against the last player, which I was easily able to win and finish in that gunfight. So I think now with HP per kill out of the game, you have to be really careful about taking any sort of damage. And by taking damage, I mean any sort of long range fights. I think it's just best to just go for rush plays and stuff like that. And I only really mean this if you're seeing another player and they see you as well, because at the same time, if you try to peek and they try to peek, it can't be just an RNG fight that a lot of times you're going to be losing a lot of HP. So if you see a player in the distance, they're not looking at you, of course you want to go for a few shots, take as much HP off of them as you can before you go for the rush play on them. But maybe if it's in a situation where you see them and they see you, I think you're just better off going for a rush kind of play. And just the reason being, because if you just try to have an RNG fight, a lot of times you're going to be losing a lot of HP, and most of the time you're not going to have a lot of extra minis saved. So you're really going to be going into the gunfight with no extra shield if you wait too long and then just try to win it with an AR from longer ranges. So just trying to avoid taking damage from those longer range fights, those chip shots, is really going to put you in a good advantage when it comes to actually being able to hold a lot of shield in the game. And as you can see in this game, I'm pretty much able to hold shield for the entirety of the game, and as well I play pretty aggressive in a way. I was able to drop 16 kills. And I really feel like I was able to do this just because I was avoiding a lot of damage, or pretty much a lot of unnecessary damage that I would have taken normally if HP per kill was in the game. Because if I was getting HP per kill, I could play a little bit more aggressive as well. And even if I took a little bit of damage, it wouldn't have mattered, because I would have immediately got my HP back up just from killing that player. So I would definitely say with HP per kill in the game, I was a little bit, or pretty much a lot less cautious going into fights, because I knew if I got that HP back from the knocked player, even the killed player, then I would have been completely fine, because I would have got so much HP back and it wouldn't have even mattered. Because if I wiped an entire squad, I knew I was walking out of that fight with max shield, and as well I was going to be walking out with a good amount of mats. And with that being said, that's wrap up for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, hope you guys liked it, and if you could, drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, turn on my notifications so you're notified for every single new video. And alright guys, I will see you next video.